that song to me is such a great reminder that daily we need to do those things, to see our life more clearly, to love life more deeply, and to follow our truth as often and as much as we possibly can. Those are the three things that we need the most in order to transform our lives, in order to realize our own personal dreams. It's a choice whether we see life clearly or not, isn't it? Something that we really have to look at and think about. It's a choice about whether or not we want to make changes so we can shift into a different area of our life. To love our life more deeply is the ability to recognize that we are experiencing a temporary chapter in eternity. Don't you love that? A temporary chapter in eternity. And that's what we're all experiencing here on this beautiful planet. And with that recognition, we begin to have a much greater appreciation for every person and for every circumstance in our life, no matter how they show up. Because those are the things that are moving us closer to what it is we want to be, what we want to have or do. It's so important for us to enjoy each moment and to openly share that the only thing that truly matters in this lifetime, and that is the love and the connection to each other. To pursue our truth as we know and as we understand it is so important to our lives, and not just here on Sunday morning for maybe an hour or two. It's about really walking our talk, being our authentic selves, living an inspired life, a life of being in spirit, in all circumstances, to the greatest extent we can, to the best of our ability, on a moment-to-moment basis. And of course, that changes. We all know that. In choosing a spiritual life, we either consciously or unconsciously chose to do that because we were looking for growth. We were looking for evolution, looking to better our existence, be a happier, better person, and at the same time want for that that well-being of the rest of humanity as well as our world. And so as we allow that integration of our inner selves and our outer selves, that's how we give birth to our best possible higher self. Now this quest that we're all on, this spiritual quest, is self-discovery. And that is a really courageous, a very courageous quest, because it takes strength, it takes courage, it takes fearlessness. It takes all those things for us to be able to pursue that personal growth, that spiritual enrichment, because we're taking responsibility for ourselves. We're taking responsibility for our own lives, for our own circumstances. And sometimes we don't even recognize that we're doing that, because over the years we have become so darn distracted by the stuff of the world, by what we're told by others, that what we cannot do or be or have, as Nathan shared in that opening reading. We get like that wall goes up. I can't do that. I can't be that. I can't have that. We have a tendency to develop patterns of resistance and forget our connection to the source, to the one, and our power to co-create with it. And just like the alchemist, we can turn nothing into something. Absolutely. And we do that by co-creating with that power, with that presence. Byron Katie tells us there's one grand lie, that we are limited. The only limits we have are the limits we believe. That is your only limit, is your belief system. In The Alchemist, the book The Alchemist, written by Paulo Coelho, he reminds us that when you want something, All the universe conspires to help you achieve it. It's true. It's a fact. It's a spiritual law. Ask and you shall receive. Those aren't just words spoken by the master teacher Jesus. It's a universal law. And this asking isn't necessarily done only with words. It's through our intention and our attention, through our deep longing, through our deep desire. And whatever we place that intention and attention on moves that thing, whatever it is for you, into manifestation, into physical creation. And that's how that transformation process begins. So one of the keys to beginning this transformation is to realize the power behind our feelings. The power behind all that is our feelings, is our emotions. They're very strong. When you feel and express gratitude and love and joy and excitement right now in this moment, that's how and when you begin achieving your dreams, your desires, those manifestations. It can be a process, and I'm fully aware of this, it can be a process to get to that point of excitement if things aren't so perfect in your life at that particular moment. And that is just the truth. However, what I want you to pay attention to and really notice is we do it naturally when we remember who we are. When we remember our connection with the source. When we remember our power to co-create. It just happens naturally. Sometimes we actually begin creating a dream without even realizing we're creating it. Our soul and the universe conspire together and nudge us sometimes in certain ways, and we simply can't help but act or respond to it. When I first began studying metaphysics some years ago through religious science, I took every single class I could possibly take. I read every book I could get my hands on. And I remember sitting in class one day thinking to myself, you know, this is really great. However, I think I'll teach it a little bit differently. And I thought, what the heck? Where did that come from? I had absolutely no intention at that point in my life of becoming a minister or of opening a center. And I thought, that's an interesting thought, and I let it go. And I just let it be what it was. Well, lo and behold, the universe and my higher self clearly had a different opportunity in mind for me. And it just grew from there. We also can intentionally guide our life consciously when we choose the direction of our thoughts and our emotions. This is what I've learned about co-creation. When you expect something, it's on its way. When you believe something, it's on its way. When you fear something, guess what? It too is on its way. That's the truth. You think about that as different things have transpired throughout your life. And you realize at that point it is your emotions, it is your feelings that are creating these experiences in your life. Because expect, believe, and fear, all very strong emotions. The emotion we have behind something is the power that is helping create it. Our desires and our beliefs and our emotions need to be in alignment for us to manifest what it is we're desiring to experience or to have or to dream. When we feel good, we're on the right path. We're on the right path to allowing our desire to come forth in its physical form. If we're worried or we're angry or we're discouraged, then we're focusing on the lack. Then we're focusing on the absence of what it is we're trying to manifest. So to deliberately co-create is to stand eagerly on the edge of, oh my gosh, what's next? What's going to happen? Feeling that optimism, feeling that anticipation and that excitement. Letting go of the doubt, letting go of that fear and that feeling of unworthiness. because all of us are worthy of that which we desire. All of us. Feeling our emotions is such an important part of learning to manifest, in particular, our personal dreams. How you choose to experience your emotions is an expression of who you are, of that inner essence of who you are, of your whole life experience that has kind of put you together, if you will. You see, everything in life is energy. We all know that. We all learned that in school, right? Physical matters, such as our bodies, is made up of energy. It's just energy that vibrates at a much slower level than a lot of things. That way it's easy for us to feel it, see it, touch it. Well, our emotions are also energy. Emotions, right? Energy and motion. The way to process that life energy is to connect to that energy that is moving through you. Feel the emotions that it is presenting, experience those emotions, whatever they are, and then to move forward in whatever direction you choose at that particular point in time. You see, we feel, we change, we create, and then it happens all over again. Now, the further we choose to go down this path of co-creation, the more we learn about ourselves. The more deeply connected we become to our heart's true purpose, to what life is trying to do through us. Our higher self is always urging us to manifest something, to move in a particular direction. And our work is to listen to that and to follow that. Let me back up. The more we embrace our heart's true purpose, once we recognize it, know it, the more joy we feel, the more happiness we feel, and the more peace we feel. And I believe that's what we're all after, is to feel those things. And one of our tasks here on earth is to become masters of our co-creation, of masters of change. All of the world's spiritual traditions lead us down that path of change and personal transformation. None of those traditions will tell you it's easy. However, they will all point that it's the way to true happiness and that reunion with that God within. We never fully realize how far we've come on our spiritual journey unless we look back and take stock of where we were and where we are. Life can be rocky sometimes. Sometimes we feel like we're going up and down and in and out. And guess what? We are. And that's just part of the program. That's part of life, our life experience. However, unending growth takes place when we begin that journey within, and do so with an open heart and with an open mind. It's not really any use for us to be on a spiritual path if we intend to deny the difficulties that we may endure, because they're going to happen. Difficulties happen. It's how we move through those experiences that will help define who we are. Those challenges are always going to be there. And the goal is we look at them, we grow through them, and move on. There's a great joy and a great inner peace found in the midst of our personal challenges. The goal being that we're pushing ourselves beyond what we think are our limitations. We've all come to this planet as an extension of the source energy, to create and to do so with joy. And every time we create, the universe expands just a little bit more. It's always evolving, eternally becoming, just like you, just like all of us. That's what we're here to do. John Dylam asks a really important question. Are you going to choose to commit to your dream, or are you going to allow society to determine who and what you will be for the rest of your life? Something to ponder. Whatever your desire, whatever your dream, you attain it by opening your spiritual eyes to see life more clearly, to following your guidance more closely, listening to our higher self, to God's Spirit, that within, and keeping our connection to God intimate. Thank you so much for being here this morning as I shared the truth that I understand.